God bless you. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I choose to rejoice and be glad in it. I'm Dr. Charles Kent, and you've tuned in to an abbreviated word fitly spoken. Our word for today is Abram. Abram. The background of this young man and what God wanted to do in his life is very, very interesting. God wanted to establish faith, and he wanted to personify that for me many, many years later. And so God uses an individual to paint a picture to make it clear to us exactly what he is trying to say to you and I. Have you ever seen that? People that are images of dishonor or vessels of honor, as the scripture says. And so Abram is now this unlikely candidate to be the father of faith. And it's striking to me how God will take somebody out of something that is going on and create something in them that is going to change so many other people's lives all around them. Such is the case with Abram. This young man decided that he was going to trust God in the midst of the land of the Chaldeans, in the midst of things that were not going on in a godly manner. God decided that I'm going to use him. I'm going to pull him out and place him in a place where he can be an example to you and me as it relates to faith. The scripture says, "Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing." This takeaway, this subtraction, it seems as though God is taking some things away from him to establish some greater things. Abram, I need you to leave from your family. I need you to leave your father's house. I need you to leave your familiar circumstances and come to a place that I will show you. It's a startling thing, and it can be a taxing thing for you and I when God says, I'm trying to teach you something. I'm trying to take you somewhere. The question that has always come to me was, if Abram decided that I'm not leaving my father's house, I'm not leaving my family, I'm not leaving my familiar circumstances, would he have been this great nation? Would he have had his name made great? There's something that's going on amidst his family. There's something that's going on amidst his friends. There's something that's going on amidst in the middle of his familiar circumstances that God says, I've got to eradicate, and I've got to enthuse, or I've got to put in you something else. It's time, isn't it, for God to do something else in you. And our codependency upon family, our codependency upon our friends, our codependency upon our familiar circumstances, God says, I got to deal with. And he knows it. And sometimes we won't let go, and so he will take away. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes we won't let go, and so he'll have to take away. He'll just have to say no. He'll have to say no to my coping mechanism. He'll have to say no to my codependency. He'll have to say no to my familiar circumstances in order to show me something greater, something that is going to be lasting, and something that's going to be an example to many that will follow me. And so it was about the friends. It was about the family, but it was also about finances. It was about his friends. It was about family. It was about familiar circumstances, and it was about finances. When God began to work in an individual, he will challenge you to examine each one of those. And you got to come up with a correct answer and say yes to God. yes to God, when we think that this is my friend, when we think that this is family, when we think that this is familiar, when we think that this is finances and the proper way to do that, to deal with them, God will say, let me show you something better. Let me show you something greater. Let me show you something that is going to make a difference, not only in your life, but in the lives of many to come. And so God takes this young man and he brings him from where he is to where God would have him to be. And it's taxing, isn't it? It's exasperating. It's exhausting because you've got to go where you have never gone before. You've got to trust where you can't trace. You've got to allow God to do some things that just seem like that's crazy. It just seems impossible. It seems like this ain't gonna work out. But you're trusting in God and not in man. You're trusting in God and not even yourself. And when you recognize that God is in control, He'll be able to take you and make you, even in the midst of your mistakes. Abram was not perfect. He was not flawless. He was not someone that had dotted every I and crossed every T. He made some errors, but God was with him. I'm here to tell you, God is with you. He's with you. He promised never to leave you, never to forsake you, be with you always, even until the end of the age. And as you journey, as we go from faith to faith, hey, just because you've lived a life and you've trusted God in some areas, it doesn't mean that He will not require you to trust Him in a greater area, in another dimension, in another plateau, in another mindset. And you just need to know that if He kept you there, He'll keep you over here. And that's my motivation to you today. Don't let the enemy steal you and steal your faith. Don't let him take away, because Abram is a big revelation about money. It's an issue today. Money. It's all about the Benjamins. It really is. And when it comes to trusting God and when it comes to faith in Him, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you've got to decide whether or not I'm going to trust Him. Because we got issues with money. We got issues with finances. Hey, friends can come and go, but don't mess with my money. And that's, Abram shows us what to do. He says to Lot, in the midst of losing that he thought was from God. That'll preach. Losing that you thought was from God. Losing that you consider to be the answer from God. And when you lose it, and now you're faced with trusting God. Lot was supposed to have been the answer. Lot was supposed to have been the answer, but he wasn't the answer. And so it's now time to say to Lot, look, you choose. What a beautiful illustration of faith. Abram says to the young man, you choose. Whatever you choose, that's where we'll go. You take that, I'll take what's left. God, his confidence is not in what he sees. Abram's confidence is in his faith and his confidence in God. God, you brought me here. You're going to sustain me. You're going to take me where I need to go, and you're going to provide all the way. I want you to see this in this man, because when you do, it'll help you take the next step. Isn't it time for you to take another step? Isn't it time for you to take another dimension? Go another further. Go somewhere that you've never been before. Well, it's going to take faith. And Abraham is our father of faith. I gotta go. I'm Dr. Charles Kent with another Word Fitly Spoken. God bless you.